I'm sure many of you will agree with me when I say that we as humans project an inordinate amount of hate and anger towards other humans, invariably in the name of religion, ethnicity, and/or politics. The viciousness of these verbal and, of course, physical attacks on others can astound and frighten us, but in truth, they are such an everyday happening that none of us should be at all surprised. I have noticed the vitriolic attacks on the Jewish people, for example, by many sectors of society worldwide. There seems to be an innate tack-spitting hate of Jews spewed constantly by, on the face of it, ill-informed, media-driven anti-Semitism. I'm at a loss to understand why, to be quite honest. Perhaps I'm being fed an online diet by algorithms presented to me with a particular point of view, or points of view that colour my thinking. I suppose one could argue that this is so for all of us. However, I will tell you that I do endeavour to garner opinions and receive news from various quarters, one being Al Jazeera, for instance, to try and give myself the best chance in this information-driven world of forming a balanced opinion on contentious matters. Questions do arise, of course, that are not easily answered, and one is regarding the pro-Palestinian movement. If we can use that term for it, why is there so much passion and anger, hate, etc., surrounding this matter when so many greater tragedies have and are occurring in the world? Why is there not a similar proportionate level of enthusiastic, almost fanatical activism with respect to the abject slaughter of Christians in other parts of the African continent and the wider Middle Eastern region? Very recently, Muslims have killed over 100,000 non-Muslims in Syria, Christians. I've seen no reporting of this by mainstream Western media. The systematic killing of people on religious grounds has been going on for years in these regions, yet there seems to be global silence. These types of wholesale killings represent the real genocides in the world today. What about the drone attacks by Russia on residential apartment buildings in Kiev? As recently as last week, where are the hordes of protesters for justice? Why are they not marching in the street? Furthermore, where are the voices of the guardians of feminism in the light of Islamic practices that clearly and unequivocally discriminate in the vilest possible way against women? Bury your collective heads in the sand if you want to betray your blatant hypocrisy, but surely you cannot condone child marriage, abuse of women and girls in Islam, wives considered as mere possessions with little or no rights, mere chattels of their husbands. Pretty disturbing and disgusting stuff, you got to agree, yet it seems to be quietly tolerated in the modern world. Are people afraid of Islam? Is that what it is? A key word here, I think, is hypocrisy. Yes, we could all be accused of it in some way, shape or form, if the truth be known. Are any of us immune? I can only comment from my perspective, but I have noticed the leftist leaders reek of it. Look at Albo, the Labour Prime Minister of Australia, a socialist with communist leanings, reputed to own 29 homes around the world. Great connection with the working classes and the underprivileged, eh, what? I recall when the United Nations lackey and ex-New Zealand Prime Minister Helen Clark was in office. She had 9 houses in New Zealand. There is no hesitation in milking the free enterprise capitalist system when it suits. It always fascinates me that it is often right-wing leaders who donate their parliamentary salaries or a significant portion of them to charity. John Key in New Zealand, for example, Donald Trump in America. Well, that's about it for this one. I will keep casting about amongst the plethora of news media offerings online to strive for a reasoned perspective on matters of the world, a balanced view, but thus far I've struggled to find credible and convincing evidence of the protesting left being anything other than spiteful, hateful, anti-Semitic, and of course pungently perfumed with multifarious smatterings of obvious and unforgivable hypocrisy. Until next time.